Yeah, gonna give you like a shoulder block coming in.
I just want NFL on already. I know that baseball's starting, it did actually.
This is the worst time of the year, the anticipation of the football season.
It is, right?
It's impossibly long to wait.
The draft is just a tease, you know?
And they talk about the OTAs and the draft, and at the end of the day, it's all unappealing because I'm not watching an actual game.
Right.
I want to watch a game.
Right. Yeah, there's no
I don't want to draft my fantasy team.
I need that. Yeah, I need football 24/7, man.
Yeah,
That's
seriously.
what we got to do anyway. So, but at least we get to talk about it.
We do get to talk about it.
Hot topics, man. Tebow, obviously, Peyton Manning, NFL draft, but we have to start with Tebow. We're in New York. Neither one of us are Jet fans, so this is an unbiased comments that we're going to make right now, or at least I think so.
Yeah, I think so.
We'll try our hardest.
We'll
try, but look, I want to get your opinion in a minute. I've already stated my facts, so I'm going to make it really short and sweet. From a football perspective, I love the move because I think, obviously, on goal line situations, he can bring a lot to the team, but just for the fact that defenses have to prepare for that wildcat aspect of an offense or whatever it is, not knowing how many plays Tebow. Yeah, you know, there's a lot of stuff that you have to prepare for, and you can't take away from the fact that he's an effective football player. You want to call him a quarterback, you want to call him whatever. The guy gets it done. All right, 7-4 record with Denver last year, won a playoff game, won a home game, so all that. Now, the media part of it is obviously the problem, not just because it's New York, but they just hound everybody, and Tebow is a lightning rod. So from that perspective, it's a horrible situation. So it lies somewhere in between for me. If not for the media, I think it's a great move. What are your thoughts?
Well, here's the thing. I mean, the fans hate it because they all think it's like a publicity thing.
Right.
And I don't think the Jets are seeking publicity. They have enough of that between a packed-out stadium, a new stadium, an unbelievable practice facility, and a big loudmouth coach. They don't need any. They don't have publicity. Excuse me. But exactly, you're like a beatbox or something. They don't have publicity issues, so that whole situation, I don't see how Tebow is about publicity.
Yeah, you really can't say that word.
I'm going to move on.
Let's scratch that from your vocabulary.
So here's the thing, though. But as far as a football standpoint, because that word's easy to say, that's ridiculous. I think it's a great football move. I think for most teams, it would be a great football move. In particular, the Jets, namely because of one Tony Sparano.
Yeah, right, and he's the Wildcat master.
And again, I don't like to call the Wildcat because I feel like we're undermining Tim Tebow's talent and ability when we say that, but he's used to that sort of offense where you have the double threat of the pass and the run and disguising it versus defense. There's no one better than Sparano. He's the one who basically invented it.
That's right. And just because it died out or whatever you want to call it for a little while doesn't mean it can't work.
Right.
You know? Again, if you mix it up and you do it at certain times, and the funny thing is now, just about the Tebow thing, there's like this talk around New York that they should go for 2 every time. Have you heard this?
Yeah, I have heard. Yeah.
And percentages actually show that it would work out. And I guess if you make it more than half the time, I suppose it works, but it can kill you in other situations. Well, but that's what he's there for those kind of deals.
And I totally agree. But here's what I would say about this. I am very particular in certain things in life, in sports, whatever, doing things by the book. And the book says you only go for 2 in the fourth quarter when you're down, not up, people. By the way, when you're up, you're and don't get it, you're hurting yourself. That being said, if you watch all the Broncos games, on just about every single 2-point conversion he went for, he got.
That's it. That's what I'm saying. There's nobody better in short yardage than him because he brings that, well, I know he can't throw well, but the guy can throw, obviously. So you bring that aspect to it, and the fact that he can run and barrel anybody. I've never seen that guy get stopped short for a loss in my life.
Not on a designed run, no.
Never.
No.
So, I mean, he's almost like a guaranteed positive gain of yardage. I don't know how much it's going to be, but look, I like it. Again, I really, really love it from a football move, but the publicity thing, which you can't say is
Which I can't say, and I'm not going to try to. I'll let you say it, but you say it way better than I do. What's your take on Sanchez and him? Like, how is that going to work?
All right, that's a very fascinating question, no doubt about it. If I'm Mark Sanchez, from his perspective, he hates it. I mean, how can you like it? No matter if you love Tebow, you think he's the greatest person in the world, he's taking snaps away from you. Mark Sanchez is still in that process where he needs to prove himself. And now he's not going to get full opportunity to do that. 1, if Tebow is playing really well. And 2, he can't progress as well as a quarterback by taking every single snap.
Right.
And worrying if Tebow's going to come in, if he goes 3 and out and all that stuff. So if I'm Sanchez, I don't like it at all, regardless of my relationship and friendship would be with Tim Tebow. So personally, bad for Sanchez because people love Tebow. And again, if he goes 3 and out, in comes Tebow.
And so, is he going to lose the rights to the nickname Sanchez? I mean, he's
guess
clearly
so.
not Sanchez anymore. He can't be with Tim Tebow in house. My thoughts, and this is the one where people probably eat me up, maybe even you, I don't know, but I think he's a starting quarterback for the Jets no later than first game 2013.
Oh, so okay, the following season.
The following season, I think. I mean, if he doesn't take over sometime this year, I think Tim Tebow, I can say that one, is your quarterback. And here's the other thing about that is, his competitiveness is on such another level that he's not going to just say, okay, I'm going to be the gimmick guy for the Jets and be the other series guy, the second quarter guy, the fourth. That's not Tim Tebow. That's not in his makeup. So I could see a situation where he does take over during the year because, quite frankly, he does just win games.
Yes, he does. It's very possible that he can take over at some point, and that would be obviously a nightmare for Mark Sanchez. And I'm sure he would get another job somewhere. But
yeah.
What you say, the greatest thing about Tebow is his competitiveness. And to close out the Tebow real quick, excuse me if I'm misquoting it, but his greatest quote, the greatest quote I've ever heard in my life is what he said in Florida when he was playing for the Gators, and he said, "You'll never see anybody play as hard as me for the rest of your life." I became an instant Tebow maniac at that point, and he backed it up.
Yeah.
He backed up every word he said. So look, I'm a big fan of his, both as a person and as a football player. So I wish him luck, and I guess I wish the Jets some sort of luck. I don't know. Peyton Manning took over in Denver. I still don't see them as being a powerhouse in the AFC. Do you?
No, I don't. The worst possible choice, not based on anything to do with Tebow. Has everything to do with there's no talent around him. The only thing he has around him, which is good for his sake and his health standpoint, is his offensive line.
Sure.
But the receiver situation is bleak at best in Denver, and this does go back to Tebow, but so be it, man. Eric Decker is so overrated. I've watched all but one of Tim Tebow's games as a Bronco, and people are saying, he can't throw, and if you just go back and watch the game film, each and every one of those games, there were so many drops by Eric Decker.
Sure.
The only receiver they have is Demaryius Thomas, and he's not even fully developed yet.
Right.
He's good, that's it. I like him. I love him, actually. But that's all they got.
Right, and an aging running back, a very aging running back, Willis McGahee. No, Sean Moreno's had problems staying on the field, so I don't like the move. I like the division. Again, I said Chiefs. I thought that he would have a better chance going over there, but... So, all right, he chooses the Denver Broncos. We do know that, you mentioned the receivers. We know that he'll make them look better than Tebow made them. Peyton Manning has the ability.
They got to catch the ball.
Yeah, I hear you, sure.
Tim Tebow put it on Decker's hand so many times, and he dropped it.
I got to tell you something. I watched, highlights of Tim Tebow's throws. And you talk about divine intervention. I see his ball, going this way, and then it goes up and moves.
And Louis.
I'm telling you, all right, there's something going on over there. Somebody is moving that ball. I've seen it going all sorts of great directions.
Well, to his credit and... against him, I guess, and we're veering off the Tebow as usual, but some of his throws are, the throws are so far off, he can throw it literally into the stands, but some, especially the deep throws, which are documented how well he throws the deep ball, I mean, you couldn't put it in a better place.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of him getting more consistent and biding his time while Sanchez is there, and let's go back to the Broncos and Peyton Manning.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah, right. There's been a lot of Broncos.
It's impossible to not talk about this guy.
I know, Peyton Manning, Tebow taking over the world, especially Tebow, obviously. It's a lightning rod.
And the two of them are linked forever, by the way.
They are?
They are linked forever.
They are linked, And two other guys who are going to be linked forever, thank you for that, is Andrew Luck and Robert Griffin III. I don't know if you meant to do that, but good job out of you, because that's where I wanted to go next. It seems set in stone already that Luck is going to the Colts, and RG3 will be going to the Washington Redskins, and they'll be linked forever, no doubt about it. We've already been on record. I don't think either one of them are going to be tremendous superstar quarterbacks. If I think either one of them is going to be better, I like RG3. I think he brings more to the table. Great downfield passer. He can move around. He can run. He basically can do it all. And he's a leader, and he's smart. Yeah. The guy does it all. Andrew Luck, to me, again, kid, obviously he's smart, big dude. Started for, 3 or 4 years at Stanford or whatever. Yeah. So, the kid's... and again, family. I forgot what his pop's name was or whatever, who played in the league.
Oliver, yeah.
Thank you very much, Oliver. So
he's also more athletic than people give him credit for.
No, he is. I totally agree. He's definitely athletic. So to me, I think they'll both be good. I think that RG3 will be better quicker, but I don't think that his career will last as long if he's going to be running around a lot.
So if you were comparing him to someone in the NFL now, not by talent standpoint, but in, tiers, in terms of ranking, where would you put these guys?
Where they fall in when they come in?
Yeah, we have the upper echelon, we have the Drew Brees, the name just escaped me right at the moment, but I'll say Eli Manning.
Okay, well I'll say this: given the teams that they're on, Andrew Luck I think is going to have a horrible first year. I mean, he's got Reggie Wayne to throw to, but that's really it. I don't know what Dallas Clark's situation is going to be, but they have a very, very bad team. So he's thrown into a really tough situation right now. So I don't like anything that's going to go on with the Colts.
But when you say good, how do you define good? That's what I'm trying to gauge. Is where do we rank these guys in the pantheon of quarterbacks?
Okay, I'm going to compare Andrew Luck.
As
he's going to be
starters.
Joe
These
Flacco.
guys are going to be instant
Andrew
starters.
Luck is going to be Joe Flacco, which is not bad, but it's not great.
Okay.
Andrew Luck's going to be Joe Flacco, and RG3. It's hard for me to compare because he does so many different things, but he looks like an Aaron Rodgers kind of guy to me. A guy who can really whip that ball.
Rodgers, that's what I couldn't think of before.
Yeah, to me, RG3 is like Aaron Rodgers, and I think that Andrew Luck is like Joe Flacco. If I'm going to compare and make those, I don't know how you feel about that, but that's kind of where I'm going with it.
Well, I mean, first
they're both very good.
First of all, if RG3 is Aaron Rodgers,
yes,
then
he'll be great.
That's a huge compliment.
Of course. But I compare their styles more than what they will be.
But I think it's the opposite of a compliment when you say that Luck will be like Flacco. I think Luck will be way better than Flacco.
You do?
I do. Way better than Flacco because, and I've seen Flacco has had his moments, but so is Sanchez. Like these guys, it's like they have.
What do you like better? You like Flacco or Sanchez better? I know it's tough.
Can I
plead the fifth? I guess so. For now, you can.
I mean,
we'll give you a few weeks to think about that.
Yeah, I really don't like either of them because they both have proven to be good when it counts, and also have been proven to be terrible when it counts, and you just don't know what you're going to get. It's like it's like a box of chocolates.
That's fair. All right, so let's toss up a box of chocolate. All right, Forrest Gump, thank you for that analogy right there. Let's just go down the draft order a little bit because, again, those are the two hyped up guys, no doubt about it. The Minnesota Vikings choose third. Now, for months, it's been a foregone conclusion they're going to take this Matt Khalil dude from USC.
Right.
But I'm thinking, you got this Christian Ponder kid who's got nobody to throw to. Go get Justin Blackman.
Someone's got to get Blackman. I've seen mock drafts that have this guy slipping into like 9-10 range. And
Blackman?
Yeah.
Oh, that's insane.
We've been documented as saying it's insane.
That's insane.
He's got to go. I think the Rams have to take him. If he gets to the Rams have to take him.
But he's not. You see, that's the thing. He's too talented to fall that low. I think if Minnesota knows what they're doing, granted, an offensive tackle is gold. It's maybe the second most important position on the field. But I think that Blackman is like guaranteed. Like he's going to come into the league and he's going to be awesome.
Well, I agree with you. And in recent history, there's only a few guys that are like that. Larry Fitzgerald was like that. Andre Johnson was like that. Calvin Johnson was like that. And his predecessor at Oklahoma State was like that, Des Bryant.
Yep.
And he's exactly like Des Bryant. Very similar style receiver, maybe even better hands if that's even possible. So how he could slip and how a talent like that could get through even to the number 10 marker of the first round?
Yeah, not going to happen.
Beyond me. Yeah, no way.
We went to quarterbacks a little bit. This Ryan Tannehill kid's picking up a lot of steam. Some have him projected going to the Browns now. I mean, we both like Colt McCoy, but I think we agree that he's not a Super Bowl type of quarterback. And again, they don't really have any weapons. I've said they should get Trent Richardson if he's there, or Blackman, obviously, if he's there. But the Browns are a mess. They're not going to be any good for a while.
In my opinion, Tannehill's one of these guys who becomes like a pro day or combine guy, and they look at numbers and they look, and then he comes in and he pulls in. What's my favorite quarterback's name on the Jags? What's his name?
Oh, Blaine Gabbert. Yeah,
he becomes a Blaine Gabbert where. The hype is way more than the reality. I don't see.
Okay, that's fair. That's possible.
I mean, who knows? But
I do remember one guy where the hype we thought would be more than the reality. I know it's a different position, but remember Jason Pierre-Paul? He took the combine by storm, and he wasn't really looked at as like a really big deal. But boy, oh boy, is that dude serious?
Well, and obviously you're talking to someone who knows and who cares about him a lot. And as a guy who roots for Syracuse in sports, I know that South Florida, although that's a whole other conversation, NCAA division and rank. The way the regionals are breaking down is crazy.
Yeah,
but the point
Big Ten's got 12 teams.
I watched Pierre-Paul at South Florida, and his talent was raw going into the draft. He had only been playing pro football, I think, for 2 or 3 years at that. Or maybe his senior in high school was his first year. But the point is, he didn't grow up playing football, so he's still maturing. He's still on the rise.
Yeah, oh boy, this on the rise.
But he really is. I mean, he really is.
Change our show name to on the rise, I guess. Let's close it out. Spend a couple of minutes on both of our teams because it seems that you're giving us all your crap.
Yeah.
Okay? Mario Manningham.
Well,
he's not crap,
he's
I'm
not
sorry.
crap.
You know, he's a good player, but...
He's not crap.
And I don't want to use the word crap. I'm sorry. I'm just having a little fun. But Brandon Jacobs also... Why? Why did the 49ers get Jacobs? It's certainly not for goal line situations like you had mentioned to me. The guy couldn't run over what do you call it, like a rope or something like that. He stuttered.
My biggest concern as a Giant fan was every time I saw a situation like 3rd and 1, and they have Brandon Jacobs back 7 or 8 yards to take a handoff. He needs to go 1 yard forward, and he doesn't get enough momentum, and the line doesn't block him. He goes nowhere. I prefer the smaller back in that situation where they can dart to get and dive for that yard. Jacobs can't do it.
Or at least somebody who knows how to go forward. Jacobs seems to dance around the line.
You have Frank Gore, who always seems to fall forward. You also have Kendall Hunter, who will probably take Frank Gore's job any moment.
Right.
What's the point? I personally don't think Brandon Jacobs can succeed outside of the New York Giants football team. That's my own personal opinion. I think his better days are behind him, and I think you're stuck with him now.
Yeah, I agree. I think it is stuck. I'll actually be surprised if he makes the entire season with the 49ers. That's how I feel about it. And I don't mean to really bash him, but he's not bringing anything to the table for us.
And you do not like him either. If I'm not mistaken, we've had conversations about the whole Brandon Jacobs, Rex Ryan thing and all that.
He's got a big mouth. I don't, that's fun. I know that Rex Ryan has a big mouth too, and he's a coach, and I know he shouldn't say anything, but he used some really terrible language towards Rex Ryan. There's no need for that.
No, not at all.
It really isn't.
No.
So the Giants, hey, look, they're defending Super Bowl champions. They definitely still have a good team. I don't know how they're going to transition from the year next. After the 07 season, they busted out with an 11-1 record. The Plaxico burst incidents happened,
which is on account. You can't account for that.
No, you can't. Of course not. Of course not. But they still have plenty of good players around. So just to wrap up the show real quick, you feeling good about them next year?
I don't see any major holes. I see them getting stronger through the draft and maybe some low-key, under-the-radar free agent pickups, which Jerry Reese is awesome at.
He is. Yeah, Paul.
And I see it as, we're sitting here as Giants and 49ers fans, and we could be seeing that again in the playoffs.
Yeah, we could.
Be.
There's a very good chance.
If Alex Smith holds up his end of the bargain, we could be looking at it again.
Which is maybe why Peyton Manning didn't want to go and play his brother and beat him down San Francisco style in the NFC Championship.
Well, this is totally. This isn't going to happen, obviously, because we know Peyton went elsewhere. But I was so looking forward to looking at the box score and seeing Manning to Manningham because I love that. But it would be the opposite Manning.
It would be the opposite.
We're not going to get that.
No, we're not going to get that. Talk about being stuck. I'm still stuck with Alex Smith. He did a great job last year. Well, a very good job, let's say. I don't see it happening again. They made a mistake, and look, that's it. We'll see what happens. Football season is a long time away. The draft is coming up by April 26th, 27th, somewhere around there, so we'll break down more of it as we go along. But for now, we are out, and we'll come back with some NBA. What do you say?
Sounds good.
All right, cool.
All right.